Welcome back to Modern Homestead Alaska. It is May's Azure Haul. Now, it may be a small haul, although it is everything that I needed to make my working pantry work better for me. Also, I have some amazing tips and tricks that are unique to Azure as opposed to other locations for your long-term food storage and preps. So stick around for a little bit. We're gonna jump right into the video. Let's go. Welcome to our vlog. If you're new around here, we're the Milnes family. We just moved to Alaska in July. We're building a modern homestead outside of Wasilla, Alaska. That's my awesome husband, Aaron. I am Jessica, a stay-at-home wife and mom, and our second son, Caleb, decided to come with us, along with our daughter, Cody Ann, and the youngest of our family, Wyatt. We brought our two dogs, Tipper and Daisy, and got a new addition, the Alaska dog, Roberto. Before I share with you everything going on behind me, I want to give you a little bit of backstory. You can also find everything we've already done, the preps, the whole 9 yards. In the description box, there is a link to all of the videos that pertain to my pantry and the long-term food storage. So please go and check that out after I give you today's video and this information. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me in the comment section, okay? So let's talk. I injured my back a long time ago and it flares sometimes. And the muscle just latches around my sciatic and it is so painful to move. So I was storing everything in 5-gallon buckets in the basement. That with the flare became immediately difficult for me to get the things that I needed that were in big bulk, such as flour, sugar, brown sugar, some of the beans we use a lot of, some of the rices, and have to haul that 5-gallon bucket upstairs to fill what I have up here in my working pantry, then take it back down. It just was too much, so I switched gears. I am now moving those things into 2-gallon buckets that I'm actually storing in my working pantry upstairs, so it is easier for me to just go into the pantry, fill up these things, and then have what I need when I need it at the ready here in the kitchen. So that is one of the main things I'm going to share with you. I had gotten lids, 2-gallon lids, last Azure Haul. So these are the Gamma Seal lids. They were out of the 5-gallon ones, but they did have the 2-gallon ones. However, the strange part was I thought at the time I could get 2-gallon buckets or food grade buckets here locally. They sold out of those. So we couldn't get those locally. So when I went out to Azure this month, I was able to get the 2-gallon buckets. I'm gonna repeat this throughout because it happens with everything. I got 15 2-gallon Gamma Seal lids. That is the quantity that Azure sold them in. And then I got 15 2-gallon buckets from Azure. So I had exactly enough lids for the buckets. One thing I want to say about the buckets when you get them from Azure, ours may be a longer haul. It might be the shipping container. It might be the semi that they're on. It may be that our person picks them up on a flatbed trailer in Anchorage and hauls it all the way to Big Lake, Alaska. So my buckets are filthy. Like they are full of dirt and grime and everything. So my task today is to wash all of these by hand, get them all dried out and prepped and ready for the products that I'm going to be putting in them. So that's the first thing is I got 15 2-gallon food grade buckets. Now my goal, if you look back at one of the videos, you see that I have labels for my 5-gallon buckets. That label isn't exactly, or the information that I included in a long and short-term food bucket is not exactly what I want for the pantry, but I am going to use those half-sheet labels. I'm just gonna recreate something new that tells me what's in each bucket. It's also beautiful when you see it in my pantry because You know, we eat with our eyes first. We also bake and cook with our eyes first, so we look in there for inspiration. So I want to have beautiful labels on these buckets. So I'm going to work on that in the coming week. And when I get all this figured out, I'm going to share that with you guys. I'll make a video on it. So I got 15 of those. All right, let me jump over here for just a second and just share something that was not part of the Azure order that I was able to find, but I need advice. Help me out here. So I have all of those 5-gallon food grade buckets and I cannot find lids, any type of lid for them. So I wanted Gamma Seal lids, of course, couldn't find them. There's none at Home Depot. I found 4 Gamma Seal lids at one of the local animal feed stores. They wanted $15 a lid for it. That's way out of budget for me. I found these food grade lids that have a really good seal in them so that bugs and things can't get into it. However, it has a pour spout, and getting this on and off is similar or the same thing as trying to get a paint lid off. My mom offered me a tool when I was in Nevada that would take these off of the food grade buckets or these kind of lid off of the 5-gallon buckets. And I went, I've never seen a lid like that. Why would I need that tool? And didn't bring it home. So now I don't have the tool and I have the lids. What would you store with this? Would you do the Mylar bag, put the food in there? Or would you store things like, let's say like the loose wheat or oatmeal or whatever that you could just pour it out? Like, what is gonna be my best use for these lids? I got a handful of them. What am I supposed to do? What would you store in those 5-gallon buckets? Please let me know in the comments section below. All right, let's move on to the next thing. All right, let's get the 2-gallon buckets out of our way. I just brought up some examples and some things that I actually need to be using, which is some Costco sugar and some flour that I do need going in these buckets. I can refill what's on our countertop, so ignore that. Here is one of the buckets. It's going to be these items, which is salts. I have lots of different salt, and I continue to try and collect different salts. What are your favorite salts would be a good question. So these were on sale, so I got 2 of these. These are a light gray salt. I'm trying these for the first time. The kids actually already opened this one and have been using it. So what this salt is, and the reason I got these, and you want to add lots of different salts, in my opinion, to your long-term storage, is if you have to be eating off of that, the vitamins and mostly the minerals that you find in some of the salts are super helpful to your diet, helping you have that rounded, balanced diet. These Palm Island salts, I could only get 1 of these. I had ordered 2. They ran out. I was able to get 1. This one actually has black lava sea salt. And I was just gonna share with you, it's a sea salt, ultra premium, all natural Hawaiian sea salt, and it includes complete spectrum of ocean trace minerals, elements, and electrolytes. Premium activated coconut shell charcoal. So this one came from coconut shells. GMO free, no artificial flavors or colors. It's extremely salty. Like, the flavor of it is very salty, but it has that activated charcoal in it. It is a good, nice, beautiful addition on some fancy meals, but this is gonna add some of those minerals into our diet. This one included premium baked Hawaiian red clay. So there's some, it starts with an A, I don't know what that word is, but there is a clay that is included in the salt for this one. So some different salts. I have the pink sea salts, I have plain fine ground sea salts, I have kosher salt, I have pickling and canning and you name it, and I just keep them in their original containers if they're plastic. If they're cardboard, you need to move them to glass or plastic because that cardboard will absorb moisture and your salt turns into a block. There's caking agents in a lot of those, like store-bought ones that are in cardboard. So anything in cardboard or paper, move to a different container. And then I just throw all of these in the bucket and kind of pick and choose what salts are working. I have salt out, of course, all the time that I cook with, but please expand your salt intake and include different kinds of salts in your diet. Let's move on to the next thing. I actually just recorded this and I'm gonna redo it again, explaining this next item because I just stuttered my way through it. So when I was packaging the last Azure order, the huge one that I did, I ran out of gallon size Mylar bags. So I needed to wait before I finished the wheat in the corner, the only two things I had left to package, and I needed 1 gallon bags for that. I said I would repeat this, and I'm going to. What Azure does, like if you were to go onto Amazon and get like Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers, they come in random amounts and you have to try to do the math and whatever. Second of all, Azure's the cheapest. I've looked everywhere. So what they do is 50 1-quart Mylar bags, 50 matching oxygen absorbers. They're separate items, but they have them in the exact same quantities. So 50 bags, 50 absorbers. 50 bags, 50 absorbers. So on. The thing that I was able to get this time that I wasn't able to get before is when I ordered my 5-gallon Mylar bags, they didn't have 5-gallon oxygen absorbers available, the CCs for that, and they did this time. So I stocked up, I got 3 of these. I can also use these in different areas, but I got enough for the 5-gallon Mylar bags that we have. If you come across that you can only get these 300 cc's oxygen absorber, look online and it'll show you how many of these to put in like a 5-gallon bag. So you can actually use the smaller oxygen absorbers in the 5-gallon bags. However, it's just easier if I can match the numbers up. For me, 50 and 50, 50 and 50. And then I always have enough oxygen absorbers for the Mylar bag. So that is a good tip and a good reason to use Azure for these items. So this is part of what I got so that I could process what I got last time. Let me move on to the last couple of items. All right, the last 2 items I wanted to share with you before I show you something super special at the end of this video are right here. But really quick, I would like to invite you, if you are enjoying what's happening on our channel, please hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell so you get notifications. When you give me a thumbs up or you leave comments in the comment sections below, all of those things help our channel to grow and it really helps our family out. So moving on, let's get to the last section of things. So I did a case of tomato paste. I don't use, almost dropped it. I don't use a ton of tomato paste and I was getting them kind of in the tubes, but I've been reading and doing some of my research on kind of moving tomatoes into jars. Right now I have a lot of canned tomatoes in cans still, but I have a ton of tomato plants that we're gonna grow. Hopefully we get enough that we can jar them ourselves in glass jars. But tomato paste takes a lot of tomatoes and a lot of processing to get to this point, and it is really great for adding thickness to recipes. So I did a case of that. This is an item that I had put on my shopping list probably the last 5 times and wasn't able to get until recently, and this is just a 25-pound bag of basmati rice. I love this rice. Rice like beans. I don't like to just eat the same thing over and over and over. Different rices for different recipes. So I like to diversify my rices as well as my beans. So this was one of the last rices that I really wanted to get some in my stockpile and wasn't able to get until now, unless I went to like Walmart or the local grocery store and I could maybe get 1 pound here and there. So I was able to get a 25-pound bag of that. Let me share with you something super special that my mom made for me. And well, I'll just get to it. I want to show it to you. Hold on. All right, recently when I was in Nevada visiting my mom, I finally got this item that she has been working on for me for a year. And they are homemade vanilla extracts with different kinds of beans. So this one, they all were made 3/21 of 21. So they take a year and a half for them to actually become vanilla extract. So the bean is still in there. They are amazing. Like, let me just tell you, making your own homemade extract, I did not know that there would be so much more, better flavor, less bitter than any type of like extract that you can purchase. So this one was with rum, this one is vodka, and then she has 2 different kinds of beans. So she has an M and T, and they are in here. So some are vanilla beans that are from Madagascar, and then the other ones are Pacific Trader. So these are beans that are intended for making extract. I don't know a ton about them. I'm learning, but seriously, I could not thank her enough. They are, the flavor is like, this is like butter. Seriously, it is like the sweetest smell of butter to this vanilla extract that's just in the vodka. Whereas the one in the rum is much stronger in its flavor and sweetness. And then this Madagascar one, it's deep, like it's a rich vanilla flavor. I didn't know that there was so much variation that you could do. So that's one of the things I want to encourage you is, if you are interested, you want to dink around in your kitchen, maybe you don't have a big homestead or a place to do all of this different canning and you can't keep it, this is something that is super fun to play around with. You can create something yummy and delicious for your kitchen, and it doesn't take up a lot of space or use a lot of resources. It is expensive, like the vanilla beans are expensive, the quality of the alcohol can be expensive, but it is a great little way for you to be doing something unique and different in your kitchen. So if you are unable to can and do all of those things, I encourage you to find a little hobby like this that adds uniqueness to your kitchen and your flavors. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm sorry that the haul, I'm not actually sorry. Not sorry that my haul wasn't massive. I did want to share something. Any of you that have stayed all the way to the end here, our haul is also small because Aaron left his job. We don't often share things ahead of time because we don't need negativity spoken over those things. We wanted to give God time to work. And I would like to share some really big news. Before Aaron left his job, April 15th, we of course had some savings and a plan, but Aaron left April 15th, came to Alaska without a job. I had a very, 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 very tight food budget to last me until he found work. I have $1,500 that would last me until then. I have not bought fresh produce. I've barely bought milk and eggs and those sort of things for the homestead. I have been able to live off of what is in the pantry and the long-term food storage for this amount of time. Yesterday, Aaron signed a contract. He has a job, he has the income that we needed to continue to maintain the lifestyle that we've had all along. He still doesn't get a paycheck for another 3 weeks. but I'm able to do some grocery shopping with what I have left over in the food budget. And Cody and I are going to go to Costco, do some different things, and I am really looking forward to adding some fresh fruits and vegetables back into the diet this week, now that we know there is a paycheck coming. So those of you that are interested in what is going on the homestead, that was a big ordeal and such a huge leap of faith to leave a 15-year career, come to a state where you know no one, without a job, and trust that God is going to provide, and He did. So praise the Lord, give all the credit and glory to Him. Woo, little emotional, but we're gonna be fine. So thank God that He had taught me these preps and these sort of things. And it just goes to show you that there are times, no matter where you're at in life, that these stockpiles and these preps are going to do big things for your family. So the fact that we had it, we had invested in it, made it to where our family is just fine until that income starts rolling in regularly again. So thank you to those of you who have stuck around. I wish you blessings for the rest of the week, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Talk to you guys later. Bye.